Hello there, folks. My name is Aaron George, local real estate agent with Coldwell Banker, and proudly serving the greater Cincinnati area. Today, I wanted to talk to you for sale by owners out there. And pump the brakes a bit. Don't click that X on me quite yet. I'm not here to change your mind. Really wanted to make a quick video to share some tips to get you started on the right path. And before we get too far, I wanted to share an exciting offer we have. Put together this pretty nifty for sale by owner help kit for you. And I'd love to get this into your hands as soon as possible. It's basically all the tips we talk about today and many more. It has checklists of everything you'll need and all the essential paperwork, including the required disclosures to keep your best interests protected, even a sample contract to refer back to. So if you are interested, you can text help kit to the number below, or if you prefer email, we have an email here you can reach out to as well. Just love to get this into your hands as soon as possible. If I had to say, I would put this in the category as a must-have throughout this process. It really has a lot of good tips and tools and everything you need to sell on your own. So feel free to reach out. Alrighty, back to business. Tip number one, invest in good photography. Folks, this is such an important step in today's market, and no matter what market you're in. Really, the photos have really become your first showing, so you want to make a good first impression. I read recently that over 93% of potential buyers are starting off the process by looking online at photos. So with that much potential exposure, absolutely want to make a good first impression. It's really become your first showing, like I said before. They're going to log on to their computers, their tablets, their phones. They're going to look at listing photos and decide right then and there whether they have any interest in moving forward based on the photos that they see. So again, absolutely want to make a good first impression, because if they don't like the photos, that there's a really good chance that they're not even going to reach out. I would go as far as to recommend hiring a professional real estate photographer. These folks are absolutely incredible. I use professionals in my own business for my own listings, and I can't speak highly enough. They're absolutely incredible. They do a great job of making the listing look big and bright and attractive and highlighting its best features. So absolutely something worth considering. But if you're absolutely determined on doing the photos yourself, just take your time, do your research, and make sure you do it right. I did include a step-by-step, room-by-room guide to real estate photography in the help kit. So it's in there if you are interested. But again, just put a priority on photos. All right, tip number two, pre-qualify your buyers. This is another pretty important step, folks. The last thing you probably want to do is either waste your time or get involved with the wrong sorts of people. So first of all, there are probably two groups of people that you want to look out for. First group are the savvy investors. These groups always target for sale by owners. They're out in droves. Everybody is an investor nowadays, and they'll often try to take advantage of maybe your lack of market knowledge, maybe your lack of sales experience, and they really are pretty persistent and will try to wear you down. So just be aware of those savvy investors. The second group that you probably should be aware of that often target for sale by owners are the unqualified buyers, basically looking for seller financing. These folks are people that maybe don't meet the standards for a traditional mortgage and are looking for sale by owners to basically either become their bank or become their landlord. So they'll ask for such things as, and there's probably 1,000 terms for it, a lease to purchase, rent to own, lease option, option to buy. There's hundreds of different terms for it, but basically it means that you're either their bank or their landlord, or a little bit of both. And if that's not your goal, you should probably make that pretty clear. And If it is, then I probably won't have any problem attracting these types of buyers. So for the everyday buyer that inquires about your home, it's probably pretty important to pre-qualify them as well, right? So I get asked a lot, Aaron, should I require a pre-approval letter before they see the home? And my answer is usually not yet. I don't think it's usually necessary to require it on an initial showing. You can easily pre-qualify them just over the phone by having a simple conversation and asking probing questions along the way. So for instance, ring, 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 ring. Hello. Yes, it's still available. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,800 square feet. We're asking 215. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So by the way, how long have you been looking? Okay, nice, great. Have you been mainly looking in this area? Okay, great. So what's your time frame? When do you need to be moved in by? Great. So do you have a house to sell before you buy? Oh, you're renting. Perfect. And have you spoken to a lender yet? Okay, perfect. Well, that's great. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Thanks for inquiring about my home. Bye-bye. And that's it. Those are just a few of the many probing questions you can ask. And it really gives you a clear vision of what their motivation is and how serious they really are. Tip number 3, be willing to work with buyer's agents. Folks, about 80% of the qualified buyers that are out there right now are working with professional agents. So if you reject or you alienate, buyers that come with agents, then in fact you're rejecting or alienating up to 80% of the qualified buyers. And you trust me, you don't want to do that. So I would make it pretty clear in all your advertisements and postings that you're happy to work with buyer's agents. And you know what? It comes with a lot of benefits as well. Obvious benefits for the buyers, but benefits for you, the homeowners, as well. Agents often come with the knowledge of the timelines and contingencies, the overall process. They also come with all the necessary paperwork to keep the process legitimate. They know all the people and companies involved and can really get you to the closing table, because that's often where these deals will fall apart. Not getting the offer, but going through all the different steps. So I highly recommend working with a buyer's agent. As for the commissions, they're typically around 3% to the buyer's side, and it is negotiable, but it's probably a good, a safe idea not to, deviate much from that number just to stay competitive. But again, it is negotiable. And just a quick disclaimer, there are some agents that will call for sale by owners claiming that they have a buyer when in fact they really don't. They're just trying to get into the home and give you their listing spiel. I never thought it was right. I don't think it's ever right to mislead anybody, but it is a tactic that's often used. So you'll probably just want to vet those agents just a little bit, maybe ask them some of the same probing questions, maybe even, request a pre-approval from their buyers. Whatever you think is necessary, it's really up to you. And lastly, tip number 4, make sure all the paperwork is in place that you need. There's required disclosures, contracts involved. Make sure you have all that in place before you get too far. Folks, I probably don't have to tell you this, but there are some absolute crazy people out there just ready to sue at the drop of a hat. Every day in the Hamilton and Butler County Courthouse, there's one group that walks out a winner and one group that walks out a loser. And in the winner's case, usually the difference is they had their paperwork in place. So make sure that's you. So again, I included most of that paperwork in this packet for you. So if you're interested, please feel free to reach out. It's absolutely worth it. Some other paperwork that's not exactly required, but always a good idea to have on hand, and something that buyers always ask for is, utility bills, recent utility bills, gas, electric, water, trash. have those bills on hand. They always want to know what the payments are, and it's helpful if you don't have to go dig them up and they're right there for you to present. If you did any recent upgrades, any renovations, if you have any documents pertaining to those, any sales receipts, any documents at all, those are always good. You can always make a list of any upgrades that you did do to put that in your packet of stuff to give to buyers. And lastly, if your neighborhood's maybe in an HOA and you have HOA documents involved, those are always good. Whatever you think is necessary, anything pertaining to the house, it's always good because, trust me, buyers always ask. Well, that's about it, folks. I really appreciate you watching. I wish you the absolute best of luck in the sale of your home. Again, my name is Aaron George, local real estate agent with Coldwell Banker, and thank you again for watching. Have a great rest of your day.